While I was on Pinterest, I ran across this quote by Jane Austen and knew it would go great on a glass bamboo tumbler, so let's get to crafting. My favorite glass tumblers for this project are the ones from Hobby Lobby. I use the 20-ounce glass cups. For today's project, I will be using the Cricut Premium Vinyl, the Summer Sampler. Let's get started in this project by going to either your canvas or your new project in Cricut Design Space. So this is the Austen quote we will be working with. So let's begin putting it into Design Space. Insert a text box and begin typing your quote. Now that you have your quote in Design Space, we will be changing the font to typewriter, and as you probably noticed, the comma, the period, and the two I's are not lined up with the line, so we're going to go to Advanced, hit Ungroup to Letters, and begin reorganizing these letters. Once you have your letters lined up, we are going to begin grouping this into the way we want it to look on our cup. So, begin by grouping the part of the quote, "If a book is," and group it together and move it up. Then take "well written," group it, and put it below the first one. Group "I always find," and move it up, and group it "too short," and move it to the rest of your quote. Start by centering these horizontally and then rearrange them so that they look like it is an even space in between each one. I like to set the bottom of it on one of the guidelines and then put one grid space between them. For mine, I would like to add at the bottom Jane Austen. So I am going to write Jane Austen in a new text box and choose my font. I will be using the font Papaya MF. Size down the words Jane Austen to an appropriate size for your quote. Then weld it together. And now our quote for our mug is done. Now we need to size our text. Take a tape measure and your tumbler and begin measuring to find the correct size for your quote. The biggest I can go for mine is 4 inches by 4.5 inches. Once you have sized your image in Cricut Design Space, it's time to hit Make and move on to letting your Cricut do the hard work. Decide where you want your design on the mat in Cricut Design Space and then hit Continue. Connect to your Cricut machine and then choose the vinyl that you will be working with. We are using premium vinyl in today's project. Now it's time to put the material on your mat. So I'm going to grab my scissors and take my vinyl out of the tubing. So I'm going to cut a square off of the side. Next, take your mat and begin adding your vinyl, lining it up in each of the corners. Use your brayer to stick it down onto your mat. I'm using a light grip mat for today's project. Begin by inserting your mat into your Cricut, then hit the Go button. While your Cricut is cutting, start prepping your tumbler. I prep my tumbler by washing it with soap and water and drying it very carefully and trying not to touch the areas where I will be applying vinyl. Make sure that your tumbler is completely dry. Next, remove your mat from your Cricut machine, and next up is weeding. Remove your vinyl from your mat and then begin weeding. Once you have weeded your material, you are going to take some application tape and put it onto your tumbler. Use your brayer to smooth it down. Take your tumbler and lay it where you want it to be, and then align your design. Take your brayer and smooth down your design and remove the tape. Next, take your brayer and smooth it down across the glass, and now your project is done. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.